But let's talk about our player of the season now. Amir, there's a lot of candidates to talk about in terms of who could be our player of the season. But in you particular, who's your player of the season so far?
It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one, but immediately we've spoken about him. I think it goes to Big Vic, because I think in terms of the saves he's made and that leadership from the back, the way he's come into the team, the way he's been, an absolute leader from there, without being given any captaincies or anything like that, I think, has saved us probably 10, 12 points, at least. So. Yeah, for me, it's Big Vic. But there's a few others.
There are, just before you get onto special mentions, but you know what it is about Big Vic? He kind of he's so happy to be here, and he plays like every game like it's his last game he's ever going to play. So much passion, so much energy, leadership's qualities as well. I mean, I'm yet to find a real flaw in his game. Maybe if I'm being really harsh, his passing out the back sometimes can be a bit messy, but I think all in all, I'm happy with it. So I can't really see too many flaws in his game, Vicario. I think he's just so happy to be here, isn't he?
Oh, he is. He's Spurs through and through, since he walked through that door. And I think he's, when you have players like Kuti and VDV in front of you, and you Doggy and your Porros, and then you've got Big Vic behind him, that's just, building solidity there that will scare teams. They're thinking, how can we get through that wall? And then if we get through the wall, Vic's just going to end up saving it. I can remember some fingertip saves where I was like, oh, that's a goal, and he's just managed to get to it. So for me, it's Big Vic all day long. And long may his performances continue. And, that kind of fantastic attitude, I think it's, a typically Italian thing to be so passionate and so into it. And I'm just absolutely loving it, to be honest, lads.
Yeah, I think he's had like a save in Save of the Month award, like every single month of this season so far, which is absolutely nuts. But Tim, who are you going for?
I'm going to ask if I'm allowed a joint one, because I completely agree with Amir. But so for where he was to where he is now, so for me it's probably Porro, because Vicario, as amazing as he is, he's come in, like I said, with no. He's just hit the ground running, hasn't he, from scratch? But you sort of think of where Porro came from. He's bought as a wing back. He's had to adjust his game. The coach that brought him is now not there. He had a couple of shockers, didn't he? I think it's Leicester away. He's just got, just looked completely out of place. And then to go from that to where he is now is just testament to him, really. He's just been unbelievable and consistently good. Like you said, he's got an absolute wonder of a delivery, which is going to be great for us going forward. So it's a bit of a joint one for me. I can't split them two, if I'm honest. But one for exactly the same reasons as Amir. Like, he's been faultless for Vicario, but then I just think for the change around in Porro, it's just to adapt to that new system. Again, he's got some work to do on his defending, hasn't he? But going forward, he's just frightening, absolutely frightening. And again, I just love it when and every time I see him, he's always getting the crowd going, isn't he? He's really, I love all that stuff. So, he's really passionate for it. And I think you touched on it before. It's just the fact we've got players that really want to be here. That's the biggest thing for me, takeaway of the first part of the season. I'm sort of watching them fight for the shirt. And you could argue that wasn't the case last year, whether that was because whatever was going on behind the scenes. They're all giving it 110%, and it feels like a family, feels like a team. That's just it's just amazing. It's just obviously going to lift everyone's performance. It's just one of those sort of key things. So. Vicario and Porro, and I can't split them. I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm happy you both mentioned Vicario and Porro, because me and Sim were doing our pre-season predictions just before the season started, and we're going through who do we think player of the season is going to be, who do we think flop of the season is going to be, and I put Vicario and Porro as my joint flop of the season coming into it. And when I look at the back end of last season, I thought Porro, defending, especially in this Ange ball system, he's going to get eaten alive. Vicario, I had no clue who he is. I thought he was going to get eaten alive. So that shows me firmly in the mud coming in to this second half of the season. But Sim, who's your player of the season so far?
I think Porro hasn't had a bad game, and I think he's been at such a good level. It's hard to look past him. Vicario, as they mentioned as well, he has been so consistent. I can't think of any goals where he's like glaringly at fault for or anything like that. He's just not made any mistakes, which for a goalkeeper is so hard to do, especially in the Premier League. And obviously he's made a series of unbelievable saves. But he has had a lot of games where he's had little to do. That is also true. I remember there was a period where in our player ranks, we just kept saying he didn't have anything to do.
But everything he did with a high quality.
Well, yeah, but, he did have a lot of games where he didn't have much to do. I did give it to Sonny. I think Sonny has been my player of the season. 12 goals, 5 assists. Not only is he still that clinical, deadly finisher that we all know that he is, and obviously last season he had his struggles and people questioning whether he's over the hill and declining. I think he's definitely battered those suggestions away comfortably this season with his performances. He stepped up in big games, scoring at the Emirates, scored against City away, scored against Liverpool at home. But not only is he doing all these things, he's first of all starting to perform really well on the left again, just as he's doing up front, showing his versatility. And he's showing he's so creative. 5 assists as well. I think he's near the top of the league for most chances created. For accurate through balls, he's near the top of the league as well. And adding to all of that, how he's taken on the captaincy role, how he's a leader of the team now, how everyone has rallied around him, and he always has a smile on his face, and everyone loves him being captain, and what a great leader he has become. A lot of people were questioning at the beginning of the season, is he the right choice for captain? Is he a natural leader? And I think not only has he become a good choice, he's become the near perfect choice. He's one of the most perfect leaders for the modern game and for modern players. How he always encourages them and he always gives them advice, and he always has his head up and he's always got that smile on his face and he never stops going till the end. And he's a winner as well. And I just think all that coming together has just given him the nod for me for my player of the season. So I think he's been exceptional.
I think every player mentioned has a more than decent enough shout to be the player of the season. And I think when you're looking at the players that have been out injured as well, James Maddison, if he would have never got injured, I think he would have been a shoo-in. Everyone would be picking James Maddison for the player of the season. Those first 10 games before that Chelsea game, he was by far head and shoulders the best player in this league. The amount of chances he was creating, the goals that he was scoring, the assists he was laying off. I mean, he was incredible. Van de Ven as well. Could have been in the shout for best defender of the Premier League in the first 10 games, the way he was playing. It's just such a shame that their season or their half season had to be cut short. Great to have them back in the side now, but I'm actually going to agree with Tim for player of the season so far. I think Pedro Porro, for me, has been the most consistent and the best player for Spurs this season. He has just been incredible at right back. The way he, goes into that middle of the park, creates chances for us, gets shots off pretty much every game. His defensive performances have been getting better and better throughout the season as well. I think he's the most improved, and I think he has been the most consistent Spurs player this season as well. So I think that's what a great thing it is. We can all sit here. Usually it's just like, Harry Kane, player of the season by far. Harry Kane. But now Harry Kane's gone. Everyone else has stepped up. And I think everyone in their own right has, a great shout to be player of the season. And that's the great thing about Spurs under Ange. Like, everyone has stepped up and everyone's right. Because I think Sonny in his own right should be player of the season. Maddison, Van de Ven, Porro, Vicario, all of them probably should be kind of equal in terms of player of the season. And that's what Ange has created here at Spurs. But I want to talk about the transfer window. It's a bit unheard of what Spurs have done in this January transfer window. 2 signings in the first 10 days, I think it was, with Dragusin and Timo Werner coming in. Do you think there's going to be any more business from now until the end of the transfer window, Amir?
I really, 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 really hope so, because I think this is something that not so many people are talking about, but the whole thing with FFP and our advantage in that kind of new spectrum that's been created in the Prem, I think can be huge for us. I'd love to see us push the boat out and sign a couple of, really talented youngsters, even if it's players that, we loan straight back out and that can come in the summer like we did with you, Doggy. I think that could, really, really benefit us in the future. And we do need to be looking at strengthening the squad over the next few windows. And, there are some players out there that I've been having a little look at and had an eye on for the last year or so. that I think we can get in for a decent enough price. And I think, building on what we've done this season under Ange, that could be huge for us next season. And, hopefully we'll be back in Europe. So, we really need to look at strengthening that squad because that's where we've always lacked. We've had decent 11s in the past, but we've just lacked that depth, strength in depth. So I'm really, really hoping we push the boat out, take advantage of the situation. And yeah, I'm hoping to see another couple of signings by the end of the window.
Amir, just to add on to that, in terms of outgoings as well, Emerson has been subjected to him. Højbjerg is still interest. So apart from incomings as well, do you expect any outgoings?
I don't want to see Emerson go, to be quite honest with you, Sim. I think he's, really come into the team really, really well, and I'd like to keep him around at Spurs. Højbjerg as well. I just think, with that experience, he could really help us in the run-in. I wouldn't want him going. But there are a few players that, I wouldn't say no if the right money came in and the right deal. The likes of Gil, who I just think is, with all the talent, he is very talented. I think he is a bit too lightweight for the Prem. I think might be suited to Italy or Spain a bit more. I think we can say goodbye. Cess is another one. The guy just can't stay fit. We bought him young, and it hasn't quite worked out for the guy. And I think if the right deal came in for Cess, I think it's also time to say goodbye. Apart from that, no, that's about it. I think that's the ones I can think of. Obviously, your ones that are out on loan like Ndombele's and whatnot. Obviously get them off the books, but yeah, the ones that are currently with us, those are the only two I think.
Tim, with 8 days left of the transfer window left, do you expect any more incomings or outgoings?
Well, I put a tweet out with I just put Ange's face. You remember Harry Redknapp with his elbow on the car training ground. I'm hoping for a bit of that situation. I can't see it happening. I think if we can get Nusa over the line, that's again another one. Again, you just got to put your trust into the scouting team, because if we do the same thing as we've done with Doggy and Sarr and put him back out on loan, we've got a very talented guy coming in. And again, I'm a bit like Benno. I just put full trust in Ange. If that's the player he wants, that's the player he'll get, and hopefully he can make it work. And it's just getting the right players to fit the system. I think is important now. Obviously, the Conor Gallagher, I just can't see it happening. Not if it happens, it'll be in the summer. It's not grappling now. And that would probably put a kibosh on Højbjerg going out. I don't think they let Højbjerg go unless we get someone in, actually into the team rather than back out on loan. Especially what's happened, why take the risk? And like we've already highlighted, he's a player that has come in and has done all right. Sort of raised his game. I agree. I don't think he fits the system long term, but I think for the end of the season, I think we'll keep him until then. And I can see a Hill or a Cess maybe going on loan. The man of glass. I do feel sorry for Cess. Jesus Christ, what a torrid time he's had with injuries. But I can't see him. I don't know if they've gone permanent. So I think just go on loans. If the right sort of teams come in for them. So that's why I've just got this fear. He might be a bit of a damp squid. I think we sort of did our business early, which is what Ange wanted, and it might just be as it is. But again, if we can get Nusa over the line, that's like an added bonus for me. So I don't think we're doing anything more. So that's kind of where I'm at.